In 1859, a well-respected woman from London named Mrs. Whitmore visited her physician with complaints of sleeplessness, nervous tension, and what she delicately termed nervous episodes. Following the medical standards of the Victorian era, the doctor placed her on the examination table and manually stimulated her genitals until she reached what he recorded clinically as a hysterical paroxysm. This practice, shocking by today's standards, was not the work of some fringe quack, but legitimate treatment carried out by reputable physicians in Europe's and America's most esteemed clinics. Before we begin, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. And if you support real stories like this, hit subscribe to help us keep these stories coming. Now, let's dive into today's story. For over 2,000 years, doctors had treated women for hysteria, a catch-all diagnosis rooted in ancient beliefs about a wandering womb. By the Victorian period, this evolved into physicians inducing orgasms as therapy without recognizing them as such, amid profound sexual repression that blinded even the educated elite. The origins of hysteria trace back to ancient Egypt, but Greek physician Hippocrates formalized the term around 400 BCE. Hystra meant uterus in Greek, and the prevailing theory held that a woman's womb could dislodge and roam freely inside her body, pressing on vital organs to cause symptoms like anxiety, fainting, or digestive woes. Plato described the uterus as an animal within an animal, driven by a desperate hunger for pregnancy and children. If a woman remained unmarried or childless too long, her womb allegedly wandered upward, starving for moisture and semen, unleashing chaos. The cure? Marriage and conception to anchor and satisfy the restless organ. This notion persisted into the Renaissance, where doctors dropped the literal wandering, but expanded hysteria's symptoms to encompass nearly any feminine distress: nervousness, insomnia, muscle spasms, loss of appetite, melancholy, irritability, and even behaviors deemed too forward or too repressed sexually. English physician Thomas Sydenham claimed it was the second most common ailment after fevers, affecting a quarter of all women. Victorian medicine amplified these ideas, viewing women as inherently fragile, their reproductive systems dictating their entire emotional and physical constitution. Leading Dr. William Acton wrote in 1857 that most respectable women were not very much troubled by sexual feeling of any kind, a belief that created a massive blind spot. When women presented symptoms we now link to stress or unmet needs, physicians saw only illness, hysteria. The standard treatment emerged as pelvic massage, aimed at provoking hysterical paroxysm, which brought violent muscle contractions, flushed skin, heavy lubrication, and profound relief. Doctors like Nathaniel Highmore documented this in 1660 as a clinical procedure no different from setting a fracture. Patients lay on tables, modestly draped in sheets, skirts hiked up, while physicians applied perfumed oils like lavender or rose and massaged the vulva in circular motions, until paroxysm arrived. Sessions lasted weekly, often over an hour, leaving doctors exhausted. In 1903, Dr. Russell Trull called it one of medicine's most tedious tasks, sometimes requiring 60 to 90 minutes of repetitive labor. By the late 19th century, hysteria afflicted an estimated 75% of American women, fueling booming practices. In New York, Dr. Taylor's clinic specialized in female troubles and nervous exhaustion, employing multiple physicians to manage dozens of daily patients. Women booked regular appointments for years, some even requesting house calls from private doctors. Wealthier patients turned to hydrotherapy, spas like England's Bath or Germany's Baden-Baden, where water cures involved high-pressure jets aimed at the genitals and chairs with strategic openings, a French technique dubbed la douche pelvienne, or pelvic shower. 1875, Baden-Baden had promised complete restoration of feminine vitality through thermal waters. Patients stayed weeks, enduring multiple sessions daily, emerging renewed. Historian Rachel Maines detailed these in her book, The Technology of Orgasm, noting how women reported unmatched relief. The exhaustion peaked in the 1880s when British physician Joseph Mortimer Granville, his hands cramping from endless massages, invented the first electric vibrator, the percussa, designed for muscular therapy. It reduced treatment time from hours to minutes with rapid vibrations. Though Granville intended it for men, doctors adapted it swiftly for hysteria. Within a decade, dozens of models flooded medical catalogs. The Weiss Company's Nightingale's list featured over 20 varieties, while the Chattanooga Vibrator promised relief in under 10 minutes. By 1900, vibrators ranked as the 5th most popular electrical appliance in U.S. homes, advertised alongside sewing machines and toasters. Sears, 1908. Catalog hailed one as very useful and satisfactory for home service, with 1910 ads showing women applying it to faces. Veiled hints at deeper uses. Manufacturers and doctors maintained clinical pretense. Oblivious to the sexual nature, this denial stemmed from Victorian medicine's erasure of female sexuality. Textbooks portrayed women's genitals solely for reproduction. The clitoris was ignored or labeled vestigial. Physicians induced paroxysms, daily yet published papers without linking them to climax. Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, cornflakes inventor and anti-masturbation crusader, used vibrators in his sanitarium while decrying self-abuse as vice. The irony abounds. Doctors returned home to asexual wives after hours of intimate work. Some women grasped the truth privately. A 1890 diary entry read, "My weekly visits to Dr. Harrison restore my spirits. I eagerly await Thursdays." Another noted the treatment's unmatched relief beyond any tonic. Women shared doctor recommendations, forming patient networks. Darker practices lurked. Clitoridectomies to curb self-abuse, acid burns on clitorises, or surgeries on girls as young as 10. Isaac Baker Brown, once London Medical Society president, performed these routinely until expelled, not for barbarity, but lack of consent. The industry thrived. By 1905, U.S. doctors earned $18 million annually, over $450 million today, from Hysteria care. Devices like the 1908 Vibrator offered attachments. The 1890 hand crank Pulsicon needed no electricity. Some integrated into vibrating treatment chairs. Freud's influence began the unraveling. He recognized women's sexual desires as psychological roots of hysteria. By the 1920s, the American Psychiatric Association phased it out as a diagnosis. The Fatal Blow, early 1920s stag films depicting vibrators sexually, tainting their medical aura. Sears dropped them by 1925. Doctors discarded dusty models. Hysteria vanished from texts by 1952. Masters and Johnson's 1960s. Research confirmed paroxysm as orgasm, validating what patients knew silently. This saga staggers. Educated doctors, elite trained, protocol-bound, performed millions of medically induced orgasms from 1850 1920 across major cities, tens of millions if averaging 20 sessions per patient for 10% of women, believing it cured disease. Cultural repression warped science. Victorian denial let physicians deliver what many women craved without admission. Grim Histories reveals how assumptions distort truth. They invented vibrators for a phantom illness, blind to orgasms in their grasp. Modern medicine owes gratitude for piercing that veil. Yet echoes linger in dismissed women's complaints. What shocks most? The ignorance, denial, or stethoscope-like normalcy of vibrators in clinics?